Hey, what is up, my fellow casual comic fans? It is I, Mike, from Comic Book Fans. And so, yeah, crazy. Tonight, for whatever reason, Disney just decided to release a bunch of different news. A lot of stuff from Lucasfilm, a lot of Star Wars stuff. They released a bunch of stuff about that, and then they released a bunch of stuff about whatever the heck Marvel Studios is going to be doing. And it's crazy. So I'm gonna cover all that stuff in a later video, probably later this weekend. But right now, there was like a few different trailers that Marvel released for their Disney Plus shows coming out. So I'm basically gonna be reacting to those. So the main ones I'm gonna tackle are Loki, WandaVision, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm just gonna kind of react to these and break them down a little bit, maybe. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. But before we do, guys, please, if you like this, if you like our content, yada yada, if you like this video, please like. If you like our content, subscribe. Even if you don't, please subscribe anyway. I know you won't, but please do. Anyway, let's get into these videos, or these trailers, I guess.
So what's a single gal like you doing rattling
This is kind of
around
like
this
the
big house?
Dick Van Dyke Show.
Well, I assure you, I'm
Oh,
married.
interesting.
To a man, a human one.
Wanda.
Still a little baffled of what this is supposed to be. I mean, obviously reality warping, but
We are an unusual couple.
it's an interesting idea.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
Huh. This is more
We
60s.
just don't know what to expect.
Huh. January. Very cool. Just about a month.
Hey, buddy.
They even changed the filter and
What's up?
the
Who are
filter of the
you?
cameras.
I don't know.
Oh, it's Monica Rambeau, is it? Oh
I
my.
think something's wrong here.
Wanda, can you read me? Who's doing this to you?
Are you here to help us? This is our home.
Then let's fight for it.
Ooh. Oh, there was the guy from Ant-Man. There's Kat Dennings. Ooh, there's the Mind Stone.
Well, I think we handled that well.
So that was very interesting. Obviously, you know, we've known for a while that this show is going to be a lot about, or at least it's going to take out after a bunch of different sitcoms through the years, but that's kind of interesting. I speculated in the breakdown of the last trailer that came out a couple months ago, I speculated that maybe something's going on with Wanda, like she's kind of lost her mind a little bit and, you know, altering reality and people are studying her. That's what happened for a while in the comic books with the House of M thing, but looking at this, it seems like somebody is like messing with her mind. Like she's obvious. It seems like she's doing it. She's the one altering reality, which is one of her powers in the comics, but not one of her powers that we've seen in the MCU so far. But yeah, so it seems like she's altering reality, making things the way they are. But it also seems like there is somebody messing with her mind, and it seems like the FBI or somebody is studying her, because I'm guessing she basically just kind of took over part of an area and kind of warped reality, and it seems like people that go in there kind of lose what they're doing, because it seems like Monica Rambeau, I believe that's who that was. It seems like she went in there and she didn't remember who she was, so I'm guessing she's actually an agent of SWORD or the FBI or something, and she went in there and kind of couldn't remember who she was because of Wanda's reality warping powers. Kind of like what happened in House of M, where nobody knew another reality until later on in the story. So I think somebody, probably Nightmare, is messing with her mind to make her do what she's doing, and then the FBI is studying her. That's what it seems like the story's going, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. And I'm wondering if the Catherine Hahn character, like, she seems very prominent for some reason. I'm guessing she might be the villain, like the one messing with her, and maybe she's actually Nightmare in disguise. I don't know. But it also seems by the end of this that she either brings Vision back, or she basically like kind of creates a fake Vision through her reality warping powers. But I hope she brings Vision back. I thought that was kind of weird in Endgame, how like they basically brought everybody back except for like Heimdall and Loki, but even Loki they kind of brought back, but they didn't bring back Vision. They barely even mentioned him at all. So that was kind of strange. I feel like Marvel's not very good at keeping people dead, so they'll probably bring Vision back in this. And frankly, I kind of hope they do, because I feel like they have barely tapped his potential so far. But anyway, let's move on to the Loki one. This is that scene from Endgame where Loki came back, pretty much. Except not really. Oh, there's Ant-Man. Here comes Hulk. Probably the biggest goof they could have done. Oh, and there we go. This is kind of interesting. Bringing Loki back this way. This is they're basically bringing back evil Avengers Loki. He's not the Loki that's been through all those other things he went through in the Marvel movies the past 8 years. Interesting. So something time traveled too. That's kind of weird. We didn't.
You're taking me somewhere to kill me.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
No, I'm taking you someplace to talk.
Haha, there's Owen
Well,
Wilson.
I don't like to talk.
He better say
You do
wow.
like to lie, which you
Wow.
just did. Because we both know you love to talk. Talky.
How long have you been here?
I don't know, it's hard to say. You know, time passes differently here in the TVA.
What does that mean?
You'll catch up.
Interesting. That's cool. Doing a time travel show. What's that?
Glorious.
Oh, there's Goo. Interesting. Ah, there we go, the Avengers. Oh, Roxxon looked like. Huh. Oh wow, it looks like an apocalyptic future. Oh, he looks pretty slick there, doesn't he?
Brother, calm down. You better be ready.
Huh. How interesting.
Come on. What did you expect?
Huh. I'm sure I'm going to wear out this phrase by the end of this video, but how interesting. So, yeah, it doesn't give us a whole lot about, it gives us a little bit of what the show is going to be about, but we already kind of knew, because I think Kevin Feige said this a while ago, but we already knew that the Loki series was going to focus on Loki after, it's basically like a separate timeline, I guess, since the way they do time travel apparently in the MCU is that no, it doesn't actually change. The changing the past doesn't change the future. It creates another timeline, which makes sense to a certain extent, but also, it's debatable. But anyway, so it basically seems, we know that Loki is basically, this is basically like alternate timeline Loki. He takes the Tesseract, he's dead in the main universe, but for whatever reason, he takes the Tesseract and somehow transported him through time and space, which it's the Space Stone. So as far as we know, it can only transport people through space. I thought that's what the Time Stone was for, but anyway, that's interesting too. But then we see the Time Variance Authority, which, they're basically just kind of like time police, kind of like the Commission in Umbrella Academy, but a little less evil, I think. So and we see Owen Wilson as a Time Variance Authority agent, and it seems like Loki, they're basically recruiting Loki for the Time Variance Authority, which it kind of seems like he's kind of going to be operating off of like a, in kind of almost like a pocket dimension, because I assume the Time Variance Authority kind of has to operate in a pocket dimension so that they can control all of the different alternate realities or alternate timelines, if that is in fact how time travel actually works in the MCU. I think we'll learn more about time travel in this show, how it works in the MCU, but so that'll be very interesting to see just how time travel works, how the Time Variance Authority works, and if Loki is in like an alternate timeline now, or if he is basically in a timeline that's like separate from the rest of the MCU and all other timelines, if he's sort of outside of time or what. It'll be very interesting, and it's kind of going to be interesting to see Loki kind of playing the good guy in this, which he kind of goes back and forth a lot. And it's also going to be interesting to see Loki. He's basically like young Loki. He's Loki in, you know, the Avengers. He hasn't gone through the events of, you know, the Dark World, where he sacrifices himself for Thor, and where he's king of Asgard for a couple years, and then goes through all that stuff through Ragnarok, and then eventually sacrifices himself for Thor, and, you know, kind of the rest of the world, trying to take out Thanos. So he'll probably be like a less heroic, or at least he won't have gone through all the same stuff. So Loki in the end ended up being pretty heroic. Who knows if we're actually going to see any heroic Loki in this or not. He might just be playing everyone. Who knows? We'll see. But let's do Falcon and the Winter Soldier now. All right. And here we go. That's good. Well, that was exciting. Dang. It's so crazy. Like, Disney, like, owns everything, which on the one hand is a bummer because they own everything, you know, monopolies suck. On the other hand, they own everything, so they just have like money, so much cash to throw at these shows. Like, we've already seen in The Mandalorian how much, you know, like millions of dollars per episode, what that gives you, just like movie quality, special effects, and, you know, everything else, sets, you know, costumes, and, you know, and it's so obvious they're pouring so much money into these shows. Like, I could not tell the difference between that, like, I couldn't tell that was a show. If I'd seen that trailer, I would have thought it was a movie, you know, if I didn't know it was a TV show. So that's very cool. Super. So far, that's definitely the one I was most excited for. Not just because the characters are probably the most exciting to me. Like, I love Captain America, and Falcon and Winter Soldier are cool characters, and it'll be cool to see them kind of carry on the legacy of Cap. I wonder if they'll even do like a cameo with Old Man Cap. That'd be kind of cool. But it'll be interesting to see, you know, how U.S. Agent, how all that works, and it'll be cool at the very end to see Falcon become Captain America, if that's the direction they're going, which it seems like they are. So that'll be very cool. And I loved at the end where they kind of played some of Cap's classic theme by Alan Silvestri, you know, that they had in the first Avenger movie. You know, na 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 na. You know, they had that in the title card. That was very cool. See, overall, just that's the series I'm definitely looking forward to the most. WandaVision looks like it'll be cool. Loki looks interesting, but definitely Falcon and Winter Soldier is what I'm looking for. It's just the kind of action I'm looking for. The, you know, more street level, but also has some really cool action shots, like that thing with Falcon flying all around. That was badass. So, yeah. All these shows, though, look really top-notch. Like, I don't know about the writing. I haven't seen it yet, but top-notch special effects, visuals, all that stuff. Oh, one cool thing about WandaVision I didn't mention was that little, with some of the more retro, like, stuff they were doing, like when they were doing, like, sitcoms from the 60s and 70s, all that, they made the camera, I don't know how they did it, but they shot it so that it looked older. It looked like they didn't have, the resolution wasn't as high. They made it look a lot more retro, and I kind of appreciated that, because even though it doesn't look as good, it matches the time period they're going for, and I think it looks pretty cool. So, yeah, all those look cool. There are a few others, like Ms. Marvel and the What If, like, animated series coming to Disney Plus, but yeah, the Ms. Marvel show looks interesting, I guess, but I just don't care too much for her as a character. I don't really care either way about her, but, you know, I'm sure some people do. She's kind of been thrust more into the mainstream with the new Avengers game, so maybe the show will be good. I don't know. The casting seems good and all that, but it just doesn't excite me at all. I'm more excited for the She-Hulk series and Moon Knight series and stuff, and Hawkeye. But I'll talk about that more in a later video. Later this weekend, me and Luke are going to be coming out with videos about all the Marvel news that dropped and all of the Star Wars news that dropped. So keep your eye out for those, and a few other things like some movie reviews and a Marvel movie quiz thing with a twist coming next week. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and be sure to, you know, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Be sure to check out our Patreon, and check us out on Instagram, Facebook, the Casual Experts Facebook group, and check out our podcasts. And yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you for all the support, and we will see you soon, or we will, I don't know, something. Bye.